Welcome back to the video. A couple of days ago, I put up on Instagram one of those question boxes and I asked you, what are you struggling with right now? What is a huge struggle? And there are probably a lot of struggles this time of year. My exact question was, what are you struggling with, and or what would you like to know more about? So I have picked a handful of those questions that I'm going to answer here in this video. Now, if your question is not one of those that were answered, hang on, because I've saved all of them and I will be answering a bunch of them either in my Instagram story or in another Instagram Q&A video. Okay, so don't worry, I haven't forgotten you, but I'm gonna answer as many of these as I can in this video for you today. So let's get started. All right, so my first question is something that someone is struggling with, and is taking rest days scare the hell out of me, even though I know I won't lose my progress. And boy, can I relate to this one. I was that person that was working out 6 to 7 days a week, sometimes 2 a days in that time, and 2 a days with strength training, not strength training and cardio, but 2 strength training workouts in one day. I was that person. And just to let you know, I told everyone that I was working out that much because I loved it. And while there's truth in that statement, I wasn't being completely honest. There was an underlying fear that if I didn't work out that much, I would lose my progress. I would gain fat. And I would stop making progress at all. And the fear of getting fat ultimately was the driver behind me working out so much. I got scaled back from 6 days a week to 4 days a week when I first started working with Jordan. And honestly, I thought I was gonna lose my mind. It was like, I don't know what it's like detoxing from drugs or anything like that, but I'll bet you the feeling is similar. You're fidgety, you don't know what to do on a rest day. You're panicked on the inside a little bit because you're afraid that if you don't work out that day, you will have blown everything to smithereens, that you're gonna get fat. I mean, when you hear this out loud, it sounds crazy, but that's what I was thinking, and I think that's what a lot of people think. So the first thing you need to understand is you need to be honest with what's happening and why you're working out so much. And then you have to trust the process and actually take a rest day. You will feel very uncomfortable that day, but you have to push through the friction. You have to push through that friction of you not wanting to take that rest day and take it. And then realize that when you go to the gym the next day, that your body feels kind of good because it didn't have to work for a day, it got to rest, and that your workout will probably be even more effective, and that you're excited to go back into the gym. That will continue as you continue to add rest days. The other thing to remember too, and this is the logical piece, and I think we all know this, but it's hard to accept emotionally when we're tied into working out so much. And that is that our bodies need rest time to recover. If we're not allowing our bodies to adequately recover in between working out, we are asking for trouble. We are asking for training injuries. Our technique is gonna start slipping. Our body's gonna be fatigued, and we're gonna keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And that never ends well, especially as we start to get older. So realize this too, if you allow your body to rest, your next workout is going to be so much more effective than it would have been if you just pushed through another workout in between. So take, for example, my workout schedule right now. I work out 4 days a week. I work out Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and then I'll go either Saturday or Sunday, depending on my schedule. So Mondays would be like a lower body day for me, and I rest on Tuesday, and then Wednesday I go upper body. So if you think of that schedule, not only am I alternating body parts, but I also insert a day of rest in between. So it's almost like 2 rest days. So by the time I get to the gym on Wednesday, after all of that rest, I am chomping at the bit. I'm super excited. I'm full of energy, and my workout is usually fantastic. Same thing from Wednesday to Friday. You need to trust the process and add some rest days in and just start tracking your progress from that point on. And the last thing I'll tell you is this, and this is something that we all need to keep reminding ourselves of, but especially if you're panicked about not going to the gym for a day and losing your progress. You didn't make your progress in a day. You didn't make all your progress in a week. You may not have even made all your progress in some months. Maybe it's been years of consistent effort. It took a long time for you to make progress. You don't lose progress from a day. You don't lose progress from a couple of days. You're not even going to lose progress from a week. And as of this taping of this video, I haven't worked out in a week. I've been sick, as you can kind of hear. I'm going to the gym for the first time today in a week. I'm not going to have lost progress. Will I hop exactly back into where I was a week ago? No, probably not. But my point here is this. You didn't gain your progress in a day. You certainly aren't going to lose progress in a day. So take a rest day, take that first step, conquer that fear. The next one will be easier, and you're going to see how much better your body feels and how much better you feel emotionally as well. My next question says, it's difficult for me to stay in a calorie deficit on weekends. How can I change my weekly calorie circle? Okay, so it's difficult to stay in a calorie deficit on weekends because generally speaking, you're not planning for the weekends like you do Monday through Friday. So this scenario is very common. Monday through Friday, we plan, we write out what we're gonna have for our meals even. We may have even prepped some of the meals ahead of time, but we're pretty organized Monday through Friday. Then for some reason, come Friday night, all the way through Sunday night, all hell breaks loose. We stop planning. And if you think about it, that's your answer. To keep your weekends in check, you need to plan for them. If you know you're gonna be out running errands and you're not gonna be able to maybe eat at home all the time, that's okay, and I'll get to that in a second, but you need to have a plan going into the weekends. Allowing weekends to be a free-for-all, where you're just eating whatever, whenever, on the fly, not knowing where the next meal's coming from, that's where people get into trouble. Now, all of that being said, if you are on the run, doing errands with families, having fun with friends, there are ways to work around all of that. So let's talk about that for a second. Let's say you know you're going out Saturday night. You're going out Saturday night with some friends. You want to be able to have a glass of wine, maybe 2, and you're going to be eating at this nice restaurant, whatever it is. If you know that, then start your day eating much lighter than you would. Focus on protein and vegetables in the morning and something light similar in the afternoon. And then that way you have opened yourself up for more calories to use at night if you want to be able to have that other glass of wine if you want to. Excuse me. You can also potentially have like a protein shake before you go out. That takes the edge off of any hunger, so that you don't go to happy hour or go out to that social event and end up drinking and then start having the munchies that come right along when you start drinking alcohol. You have a little bit more control over that. You can implement either one of these and have far more control over your weekends than you would have if you just go and let her rip. Now, another thing you might want to try is called having a bright line. And a bright line is nothing more than a rule that you give yourself beforehand. It is a line you do not cross. It's a non-negotiable. So it could look something like this. If you're going out Saturday night, you tell yourself Saturday during the day, okay, we're going out, I'm gonna have 1 glass of wine and I'm gonna have 1 plate of food. Because let's say you're going to this buffet or something like that. 1 glass of wine, 1 plate of food. After that, I'm done. And that's what you do. Now, I love bright lines because what happens is you have set the plan before you go. You know what's going to happen. There's no anxiety with it, worrying about, am I going to go over my calories? Am I not going to go over my calories? You've set the guidelines. You have 1 glass of wine. You have 1 plate of food. You're not going back for seconds. You're not having another glass of wine. Maybe after the glass of wine, you have a club soda, something like that. That way, you have now kept an event that could get way out of control into the thousands and thousands of calories very easily. You have contained it. Maybe it's still over your calories, but that's okay. It's not going to be by much. And you can just hop on track the very next day. Bright lines are a great way to keep things under control, whether you're at a restaurant, out with friends, whatever. So eat light, protein and veggies if you know you're going out. A protein shake before you go can help take the edge off of hunger, maybe keep the hunger down, and give yourself a bright line. Try one of those things this next weekend and let's see how you do. So my next question or struggle comes from someone who is concerned about upcoming travel, the fear of not watching the scale and gaining weight. So this time of year, everybody's on the road. We're all on the road for either short trips or long trips, get it. Maybe you're even going on a family vacation. Couple things. First of all, family vacations, family time, travel is not the time to focus on weighing yourself. You don't want to take a scale with you. You want to be able to enjoy your time, be in the moment, be present with your family and friends. That's the most important thing. If you have been weighing yourself every single day and you're fearful of not weighing yourself every day, I have a challenge for you when you get back from your trip. But while you're on your trip, do things that you feel like you have control over. Eat more vegetables. Have lean protein and vegetables as much as you can while you're traveling. Maybe have a protein shake while you're traveling to help keep the hunger in check. Do things that you can do that make you feel like you are in control of your environment. Because when we travel, we're not in control of our environment 100%. And so maybe doing some small things will help you feel a little more comfortable. That being said, the friction you're gonna feel, the uncomfortableness you're going to feel from not weighing in every day will probably dissipate as you go on through your vacation. But push through it. Find things that you can focus on, that you can control, and that will help you tremendously. But when you get back from traveling, I would encourage you and I challenge you to not weigh yourself for at least 2 weeks. Try it, maybe longer, maybe even a month. Because what I feel like I'm feeling from this question is that this has become obsessive. You're not weighing in so you can get used to the fluctuations, so you can see the data and make use of the data. It is more out of fear of if I don't weigh myself, I'm gonna gain weight. And if you listen to that, that sounds kind of crazy, right? If I don't weigh myself, I'm gonna gain weight. We all know that's not true. Will you come back from traveling having gained weight? Maybe. I mean, we all do every now and again. And you might be surprised. You might not. Because what happens when people travel, and this is really an interesting phenomenon, and maybe a little tangent to this question, but this is really interesting. What happens when we travel, the mindless eating that we do when we're home is kind of gone. We don't have the drawer where we keep the chips. We don't have the little bowl of nuts sitting out. We don't have a lot of that stuff at our fingertips, super easy. What happens when we travel is we have breakfast, we generally have a lunch of some kind, and we have dinner. That's it. And even though we're eating foods that we might not normally eat, and that feels a little out of control, it's actually really in control. And many, many people actually lose weight on vacation, or at worst, maintain weight on vacation. And it's for that reason. We're just not picking at the chips. We're not mindlessly putting stuff in our mouth all day long. So take from this, first of all, go into your travel with things that you can control that will make you feel better, and be present and enjoy yourself first and foremost. And when you get back, I would love to see you not weigh yourself. Hit this fear straight in the mouth. And that doesn't mean you have to stop counting calories and you have to stop doing the things that you like to do. Do that, but stop getting on the scale for a small period of time. Let's nip that fear right in the bud. It's going to be very uncomfortable. You will not like it at the beginning, but the power that you will get from that will be great, because then you can choose when you step on the scale and when you don't. You could go through periods of stepping on the scale, you can go through periods of not stepping on the scale, because you will understand both of those. So that's my recommendation for you. Okay, those were 3 questions that I got from my Instagram Q&A. I have got a bunch more. We're gonna be tackling them in different videos, and watch my stories, because I will be posting some answers in my stories as well, and continue to ask questions all the time. I would love to help you in any way that I can. Thank you so much for being here.